Right, good afternoon, viewers out there. This is Cobden People's Parliament, where we go around across the streets of Nigerians to sample opinions as to what is happening across the country and how Nigerians want it to be in terms of sampling opinion here and there to ensure that Nigerians are well aware of how their country is being governed. Today we hear on the news that Nigeria has been ranked as number one globally for country where the children are malnourished. That is, they have no access to essential food ingredients that is needed for them to grow healthy. On this note, I'll be sampling opinion from our guest who we met on the street. But for fear of government clampdown, he doesn't want his face to show, so he will be speaking to us from the background. Please speak to us, introduce yourself. What's your name, please?
For my name, I would like to keep it private.
Okay, okay. What's your response to the news going around where UNICEF has ranked Nigeria as one of the country, I mean, the number one country with children that are malnourished? We used to have countries like Somalia, Pakistan, and all that on the ranking, but now Nigeria has taken over as number one. What's your response to that?
My response to that, I would say, is due to the system of Nigeria, God has blessed us with plenty of mineral resources, but how we, how the government do organize the distribution of things, that's what affects Nigeria mostly. For example, they do try by usually like giving out palliative to others, but they don't check or they don't go through the process to know if that thing is really distributed to the citizens. So the system where they give somebody an appointment to distribute stuff to the citizen, they don't go back to check if that stuff is really distributed to the citizen, whether they get to achieve those things they were given or not, but they just neglect it. They just feel that the appointment is being done.
Okay, you are now making reference to the food palliative
Yeah,
that has been going around since the invention, I mean, the onset of the APC administration.
yeah.
Before now, Nigerians had not had this idea of palliative. You could remember during the Jonathan era, during the Obasanjo era, during the Yaradua era, there was nothing like palliative, and Nigerians were doing well. For now, for any country, I mean, government now depending on palliative as the sole option for masses not to go hungry is questionable. What's I mean, your reaction to the safety of the farmers? We have incidences where farmers are laying fear that they can no more visit their farm because of fear of being killed. We've had series of herdsmen attack who are attacking communities where majorly where foods are produced. Communities like Benue, uh, Nasarawa, Plateau. These are the hub where food across the country is being produced, including Niger State, are all victims of herdsmen attack. What's your response in terms of having a ban on open grazing? Nigerians have been agitating for a ban on open grazing. What's your response in that regard?
My response to that is problem is why farmers are scared of going because of insecurity. Somebody will stand up from his house to this farm now to go and get food. Or some people do farm for in large quantities, some people do farm in small quantities just for feeding. While some they do for exportation and other things. But going to the farm, thinking of insecurity, kidnapping and other things, killing, that's the most painful aspect of it in the country, whereby you go to the farm, you're trying to get something for yourself to eat or for the family to provide, even to sell, to make some ends from it, but you cannot do because due to the Fulani herdsmen, kidnappers, you cannot even plant crops. When you plant your crops, trying your crops are growing, the Fulani herdsmen will come with their cows to eat from their crop. I think mainly they should deal on the security part whereby farmers will go to their farm freely farm so that there will be more food. Because situation whereby there is no food in the country, it means farmers are lacking so many things, like the provision of fertilizers for them, tools they need in making things easier for them. It's not there. And to be specific, if those provisions are being made by the government, and they are not being well distributed, there is no how the farmers will get use of those things.
Yes, the same points that have been made by UNICEF ranking Nigeria as world number one most nourished, where there are most nourished, I mean, uh, malnourished children. The same point has been made by Mr. Titobi, by Mr. Adeshina of the African Development Bank, and the ruling party has framed them up as projecting Nigeria in bad light, that is, demarketing Nigeria. Do you agree with them? And what's your message to the APC ruling government in terms of accommodating opposition voices? Because in the scheme of things, if there are no opposition, there will be no democracy. So what's your response to that?
Please come again.
What's your response in terms of the reaction that when you say things the way they are, you are termed as demarketing Nigeria? Do you agree that opposition figures are truly demarketing Nigeria, or they are saying the obvious reality of what is on ground?
You are saying the obvious reality that is on ground.
It's all right, thank you. On a final note, going into 2027, there have been issues around forming a coalition that will bring about the new Nigeria. Would you have one or two messages you want to to offer to the opposition figures in order to be able to put their hearts together and dismantle the bad government that we have?
Hmm. Me, in my opinion, I would just say I don't have much to say, but I just have one thing that I needed to say that I forgot to say. Mainly in Nigeria, I don't think our price regulation system is really working. So the fact that's what I'm even more bothered about. Our price regulation system is not really they are not stable. The price of things can just go up and go down. Mainly like from those people, from those retails, wholesale, those people making businesses. They just go to the market due to the cost of transportation. They can just add whatever it is they feel to add in the cost of their goods they are selling, and which is making things difficult for the citizens to purchase. So government needs to work on that, and
So
also
essentially, you're talking about the marketing board need to be activated.
yeah,
It's all right. Thank you.
just
On the final note, Mr. Peter B also stated that we and the Nigerians that were protesting during the Jonathan era, that they protested when fuel was 98 naira. They protested when naira to dollar was about 188 naira. Today, naira to dollar is 1,500 and above, and fuel is about between 900 and 1,000. Yet, the same Nigerians that protested today, they are quiet. And Mr. Bidovi is calling that, where are those protesters? Do you justify the call?
yeah. I would say why the protesters are being silent is because of reason. One, when they stood up to protest against the answers, they end up being brutal. Secondly, when they stood up to protest against the cost of fuel, over I think the protest took like a week,
Yes.
but there was no effect on the protest. So that was why the protesters are being silent because their voice have not been heard.
Okay. In other words, you're saying suppression of protesters
Yes.
has led to everybody going mute
Yeah, because being scared,
because they're
insecurity.
not sure of their safety.
Yeah.
They're afraid of government clampdown. Just like in this case, I just came to interview you, but for fear
Of fear.
of government clampdown, you say you don't want your face to show, which we respect that fact. Thank you for granting us
Thank
interview.
you.
This is Cobra People's Parliament. Maybe some other time again may come your way.
No problem,
Thank
sir.
you.